Master Post, faculty, and fellow students. The world isn't built for some things, and one of those things is left-handed people. I'm a lefty, and over the years I've noticed the disadvantages and struggles of left-handed people. Most of the struggling, people might not even notice. Some of them can be large and affect your performance in many activities, or it could be as small as a smudge on your hand, or as large as not being able to write because of the position your paper is in. I don't know if right-handed people understand the troubles of lefties. I would say that this world is built for righties. And that means that us lefties just have to cope with our disadvantages. But other than in writing, we're the same as you. I find it so odd that people are amazed that they're left-handed people. Sometimes, when people see that I'm left-handed, they act like I'm alien. We're not that all in common. Well, maybe we are. Only about 10% of the world is left-handed. There are many disadvantages to being left-handed. Some of them might be so small that you can't even notice them. But trust me, when you're left-handed, you notice them. One of the very large struggles of being left-handed is not being able to write in certain situations. One of the very large situations where we can't write is when there's a textbook and binder. When your paper is in a binder for you righties, you might think of it as how easy it is to write without having to take your paper out. But for us lefties, I find it impossible to write in a binder because I can never get my hand in a comfortable place, which means that we have to start in the middle of the page or take the paper out. What I would say is most annoying about being left-handed is when you're writing, you think everything's going okay, and when you're done, you just go on with your day. But since you wrote with your left hand, your hand goes over the paper you just wrote, smearing it and making it look like words that don't even exist. But since you wrote with your left hand, your hand goes over the paper you just wrote. And that graphite has to go somewhere. And that somewhere is your hand. I can't tell you how many times I found my handprint on things because of that graphite. Once when I was in the 3rd grade, I finished writing my paper. At the end of the day, I noticed a long line of graphite on the side of my hand. I thought that somebody was drawing on my hand, and I wasn't looking. So I asked my class if anybody would be drawing on my hand. It kept on happening for the next couple of days until I realized that I was the culprit. I was the one who was drawing on my hand. Another huge disadvantage is scissors. Scissors are always tough for left-handed people. The next time you're around scissors, I encourage you to try to find a left-handed one and try shoving your hand into it comfortably. Though that is a topic I can't complain about, because we should all have our own pair. It wasn't always like this. Where lefties were accepted. Back in the day, people thought that everyone had to be right-handed, because that is what usually everybody was. I believe that people thought this way, because the world wasn't ready for differences yet. What they did to left-handed people seems so harsh today that it will never be allowed in a school. What they did was they would first force the child to write right-handed, and if they were tempted to write with their left hand, they would get some sort of restraint, maybe rope or cable, and tie their hand to the desk or chair so they couldn't move it, let alone write with it. They would do this until the child learned how to write right-handed. Thank God this practice does not exist today. Just imagine a teacher at this school, just before class, taking your hand and tying it down. For this to be considered acceptable back then seems outrageous to me. The world isn't built for some things. The world isn't ready for some things. I believe that right-handed people will never know the struggles of being lefty, and that lefties will never know the struggles of being righty, if there are any. We're the same as you, except when it comes to writing. I want to leave you here today with a couple of questions to keep you thinking. What is normal? What makes someone normal? Because everyone here is more different than they are normal. Lefties aren't exotic animals. There's nothing special about being left-handed. The world isn't built for everything. The world is built for the common people. It just happens that the majority of the people are right-handed. So the world is built around right-handed people. Us lefties can't complain. All we have to do is think outside the box to solve our problem and learn how to cope with our disadvantages. This is an example of one tiny difference that people always seem to forget about. You might think you're different because people say you are. But just remember, the world isn't built for everything. All you have to do is learn how to cope with your disadvantages. Thank you.